Okay, so now that I have my gate and stop installed on the cutoff saw, or the miter cutoff saw, does various angles, so you can do miter cuts with it. What we're going to do is just run all of these 8 parts through and make sure they're all the same length. Now this particular part I've already ran, so I cut it to length already. But just to give you an example, so I'm going to hold that down right there. I'm trying not to block the part out with my arm, but I don't want to cut my hand off either. So I'm going to stay right there, and let's do this one first. Now what I do when I'm running a miter saw like this, the small parts, I'll run it down and cut it, and I'll hold it, and I'll let off the trigger and let it completely come to, let the blade come to a complete stop, and then I'll lift it and remove the part. So there's part 1, cut the exact length. Let's do the next one. Put it against the stop and the back gate right there. And I'm going to push this down without even touching the trigger. I'm just going to, and I feel it just slightly touching this part, so it's going to shave a little bit off of there to make it the same length as the first part I cut off. So let's go again. And if you were listening, you could hear it shave that part off, and then I, of course, held this down, let my hand off the trigger so the blade stops spinning, and then I'll raise it, remove the part. Because what happens if you leave the trigger on and lift the saw back up while the blade's still spinning, it can catch onto the part and flip it out of there, or even pull your hand into the blade. So you really have to respect your power tools. All right, here goes the next part. Put that up against this back gate right here and against this stop that we set up earlier. And I'm just going to take, not put my hand on the start trigger, but I'm just going to take and push this down, hold this against this stop in the back gate, make sure I'm all set, and I can feel the blade just barely tipping that off. I can feel it just kind of bumping on that edge right there. It's bumping on right on that edge when the blade comes down. And these are the machine parts. But I want all the parts, all 8 of these, to be exactly the same length. So that's what we're in the process of doing right now. So I'll go ahead and stabilize that with my 2 fingers, keeping them away from the blade. And I'll pull the trigger, bring it down all the way, hold it, let off the trigger, and then remove the part. So there you go. I cut it, pushed it down, I kept it down, let the trigger off, raise it, remove the part. And we'll just go through all these now the same way. And one more. The reason I bring this down is just to verify that it is going to cut some off. I'm up against the gate, I'm up against the stop, and my fingers are clear of the blade. And that's it. Now they're all exactly the same length.